Hey, what's up? Well, it's been a long time with no video, but that's what happens when it's Thanksgiving holidays and your dad gets a lot of time off. And I'm not saying he shouldn't have time off, but that's just not very conducive for videos. So, what I'd like to talk about today, um, it's just another one of my awful subject matters that I keep bouncing back and forth from. It's like I can't ever think about anything pleasant. Although I hope that will change very soon. Or I'll probably stop making videos like so many YouTubers. Well, what I'd like to talk about is how, I basically would like to start out by saying that I have some show and tell, which I don't know when I'm ever going to think I have enough dolls, but at the dollar store, I found this play set, and I just couldn't resist buying it. It's some kind of a doctor or nurse play set, and it had a little baby in it. Which was the real reason I bought it, okay? So here you have this doctor or nurse type Barbie doll, a real cheap version. And she comes with some accessories. A little first aid kit and a bunch of little things that she might need. And although I really don't have much use for playing with them, I just couldn't resist this doll, I mean, sure, it's just a cheap little 3-inch baby doll, but I said, wow, that looks like Michael and Peter Pan, 1953, or it could be Junior in Lady and the Tramp 1. So, basically, it's just a little unisex baby, which looks more like a boy, but, I'm going to talk about why he's not technically a boy. But he's just a cute little baby in pink pajamas. I guess born before the time when that was as much of a girl color as it became. And originally the pajamas were basically just a blanket with elastic around the neck. And I actually tailored it to fit like a pair of pajamas, which was a very simplistic procedure, but you have to be very coordinated and very, precise in how you do that. So there's little Michael or Jim Jr., whichever you want to call him. So yeah, that's my show and tell for the day. And a few years back, I had bought these cheap little dolls from, I want to say I got them from China, and it took about 2 weeks or something. They were like 99 cents. So, yeah, those are some cheap little keyring dolls. And so they're made about, well, very similar, but their clothes are glued onto their body. And so there you have it. Some cheap little dolls that I just can't resist buying. I don't know when I'll ever think I have enough dolls and say enough is enough. I'm never buying another doll. But, well, I hope this never happens. I just have the feeling that if a fire came and destroyed this place, my very first thought would be, how do I get more dolls? Okay? I know that's crazy at age 37, but it's just how my mind works. Dolls are what I live for, basically. So, all these cartoons that I talk about, I'm not so much of a cartoon watcher or cartoon enthusiast as I am a doll collector. So unless the character is made into a doll, I really don't care much about it. So, anyway, that's enough about the dolls. But what I wanted to talk about is why, something that's really weighing on my mind. It's like I can't stop being angry. I would love to just totally stop being angry, because that's just such a common thing that I feel, is anger. I don't know why. It's just my default emotion for some reason. But I just feel so much anger. And, you know, even like if the subject matter that I've been talking about all year were to be completely out of my mind for some reason, which it will eventually something will take its place, I would still be angry about so many other things. And one of the things that really makes me mad every time I think about it is this idea that so many people have that I could or should be a man, you know, by, well, a very stupid definition. You know, so many people far more feminine than I am are many years on testosterone to the point where there is no more hair right here in the front of their head. So, you know, in spite of the fact that I love jewelry and I'm anything but a man, obviously, if I can't quit buying dolls, you know, what kind of a man is obsessed with dolls, you know, at any age, let alone mine. So I'm just very angry because, you know, when I think about people like that I've seen on YouTube over, you know, the past few years, and a lot of times what happens is, it's like they go through the changes, and, you know, just like a mother with little kids, you know, while they're going through the changes, you know, they just can't get enough of posting about themselves to the internet. You know what I'm saying? Just like a mother with the 0, 1, 2, 3-year-old baby. You know, it's like she just can't stop posting, you know, every least little thing about her baby to the point of TMI, if you know what I mean. But then as that baby becomes a 5 or 6-year-old in school, it's like you're lucky if you get one post a year about their Christmas, you know, and then beyond that, it's like you won't even have that much anymore. You know, when they go through puberty, it's like as far as the internet is concerned, they never did. So, basically, that's what happens a lot of times with these FDM transgenders. It's like the euphoria, the novelty of going through all these changes is just so exciting for them that it's like during their first few years of, you know, hormones, they can't get enough. You know, they're posting every least little voice update, and, you know, I got another chin hair here, which unfortunately I already have without testosterone. Every couple days I have to shave or I'll have stubble. But, you know, they're posting every least little thing to YouTube or whatever they post on. But then as they become an ugly, balding man, so to speak, you know, somebody that's just lost most of the hair right here, it's like they may not even stop by, you know, for a 5 or 10 year update. You know, they may get to a point where they just delete everything because they want the world to believe that they were always male. Okay? And it's very similar to the mother with the children that grow up and go to junior high and high school. You know what I'm saying? I can't help but see the similarity because to me they are female first and foremost. I will never see them as a male. You know, they were born a female, they will always be a female. And that's exactly how I feel about myself. You know, there's nothing I could possibly do that would turn me into a male. And, you know, so basically what I want to talk about, I made this little demonstration thing. It's a blue envelope, and on it I put a little piece of shiny tape, and I've been wanting to, you know, I saved this pretty blue envelope. I got something in the mail that was in a blue envelope. Okay, so basically one of the many reasons why I'm not on testosterone, you know, in addition to my parents' lack of support and how, you know, they told me you cannot be a man, and also my daughter in no uncertain terms. You know, they'll either call me she and her and the name I was born with, or they want nothing to do with me. And, you know, that's not an option because I'm financially dependent on them. And so, yeah, I mean, they really never should have gotten divorced. But, I mean, you know, the one thing they really do agree on, like I say, is politics. I mean, if you ever say F Trump to my parents, you are less than a dead person to them. So, you know, they are convinced that Trump has not lost the election. That, you know, Biden is not president-elect. Never will be. So, yeah, basically, see, this is why, okay, in addition to that, this is also, you know, another reason why, you know, it would violate a certain principle that I have in my mind. Okay, you see this blue envelope, okay, this represents what people believe about masculinity, okay? And like, especially those idiots that just want me to be a man so bad on 4chan. Okay, so people believe basically the sky's the limit as to what it means to be a man. Okay, there's like 1,000 or 1,000,000 ways to be a man in their mind. See this big blue ocean of possibilities for being a man. Okay, and the color blue is very symbolic of that. The freedom of being a man and, you know, not being told that you have to be a wife and a mother and sexually attractive to men. Okay, you see that little pink box right there? That symbolizes what people think it means to be a woman. You're locked into this narrow-minded, non-pooping, high-heel wearing, lipstick wearing, you know, Victoria's Secret wearing, just sexualized gender or sex called female. Long-haired, you know, petite, hopefully, because there's a greater stigma about being a fat girl than a fat guy. So you're locked into this Barbie doll image, this little narrow pink image of a female. But then there's this big blue ocean of possibilities for maleness and masculinity. Okay? So, you know, if I was to sort of buckle under peer pressure, so to speak, and just be like those people that I've been watching for years and say, you know what? Now, of course, this is a syringe, not a hypodermic needle. Okay? Since I don't fit in to what it means to be a woman, you know, wearing lipstick and high heels and all that, well, I guess I'm a man, so I need to inject myself every week with 0.5 cc of testosterone. Okay? So basically, I would, and notice the similarity between the shape of these two items, okay? They're both shaped like a certain part of a man's body, which goes back to why I say that that doll is technically not a boy, because he lacks a certain body part, okay? So basically, here's the patriarchy telling women that they have to be feminine, you know, they have to wear lipstick, they have to meet certain criteria for being feminine or female, okay? It's all about performing femininity, okay? So if you don't like lipstick, well, there's this other option, this more modern option called testosterone and transition. So instead of high heels, you wear binders and packers, okay? And instead of pregnancy, you go through all these painful surgeries. Okay, so basically, if I was to say, you know what, I don't fit into this, I'm not really a woman, okay, I'm just gonna be a guy, you know, I feel like I would be supporting this idea that there's just 1,000,000 ways to be a guy, but a very narrow-minded expectation for women, okay, a very sexualized, pinkified, hyper-feminine ideal for women. Okay, I wish it were more like this. You know, I wish it could be more, you know, more of an equality, like, between the sexes. I wish it could be, you know, something like this. Here's masculinity, here's femininity, okay? About equal. That's what I wish it were more like. But if I were to sort of turn myself into a guy, so to speak, and say, well, okay, you know, sex is determined by behavior, which I don't agree with. Okay, I believe that once a vagina, always a vagina. And it doesn't matter how you carry yourself, how you behave, how you dress. You know, that does not make you a guy if you don't have a you-know-what. So, I would be supporting this theory. I would be supporting this idea, you know, that there's just a whole vast ocean of things that a man can be. You know, whereas women are this mythical, non-pooping, non-fully human, you know, not normal, you know, we're like the aberration to the norm, when the reality is we're the freaking default gender. You know, we are how everything develops in the absence of testosterone, okay? So I would be supporting that. You know, I would be supporting this ideal of, you know, men can be anything they want, but if women are not hyper-feminine, you know, and long-haired and pretty and in denial of their most basic bodily functions, they must really be a guy, okay? So, I really don't think it would make me happy in the long run. I really don't, you know? I mean, at least lipstick would be something that you could buy at the drugstore, you know, and not have to go to an endocrinologist and poke yourself every week. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I was going to have to perform one or the other, I would choose the one that's more natural and cheaper and easier and would please my parents. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's just what I'm ranting about. And what I want to end with is, you know, it just makes me so angry because I see so many people, like this very interesting person named Arin, A-R-I-N. I'm not going to say this person's last name because for all I know, they may want to be more stealth now. But this person intrigued me because she was so, like, skinny and feminine in the beginning. Well, to me, you know, I didn't see anything male or masculine about this person. Now, of course, I didn't learn about them until they were several years on testosterone. Okay, but what angers me so much is how, so many of them, you know, they start out with long flowing hair like a Barbie doll. You know, when they're they go from a teenage girl with long flowing hair to all of a sudden, within a few years, a man that no one would ever suspect was ever female. You know, facial hair, deep voice, really short haircut, and no one would ever think they were female, let alone long-haired and, you know, for the most part feminine, you know, from my perspective, you know, whereas I've had short hair since 1993, okay, around this time in 93, so is that, wow, 27 years? I haven't had long hair like this in 27 years, okay? So, I've been a short-haired female, but never once have I truly, you know, thought of myself as a male. I mean, yes, there were times when I thought that would be an easier life, but I just never officially thought, you know, that, well, for one thing, my parents would never support it, thank God, and they would never call me he and him, you know, like I was told. I mean, cannot be a man and also their daughter. They won't have it. You know, they would much rather bury their daughter than to have a son that doesn't have a you-know-what. So, you know, it's just, it's not an option with me, and I'm glad it isn't. But I just think it's such a shame, you know, that so many of these people just go straight from a long-haired girl to someone perceived as a man, you know, without ever living as a short-haired woman in between.
Today is September 3rd, 2014, and this is 2.5 years on testosterone.
And right now I'm working on to let my mom cut off my hair. She's like, you know, people are asking me why I don't cut off my hair. Why do I keep my hair long? Because, well, my mom wants me to keep it long for her, and
Well, you're not much of a man.
I could take a pair of scissors just like that and clip it, but I want her full support doing it rather than doing it on my own will. I'd rather have her with me doing it than me doing it.
Well, that isn't very manly.
Today is September 3rd, 2014, and this is 2.5 years on testosterone.